So Bryce Dallas Howard will be in here. Louis Anderson's coming in today. It's going to be a busy, fun show. I'll tell you who's not having a fun day.
I voted for him, too.
Did you go to Warren just to cast your vote?
For old Mayor Fouts? You bet I did. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The mayor of Warren, Michigan, Mayor Jim Fouts, he's one of his political opponents is raising some concern. He says he's got evidence of Mayor Jim Fouts with audio that's less than mayoral.
And I want to know how he got this, because Mayor Fouts hosts a radio show.
Right.
Once a week, a small radio station, which I'm not sure if he'll be hosting anymore.
You don't think so?
No, I believe the radio station has had second thoughts.
Why? It's a forgery.
Well, they don't believe it's a forgery?
Oh, they don't.
I want to know where the audio comes from. I bet you it was an engineer who grabbed it while he was talking off mic.
Well, I guess the guy who put the audio together won't say.
Yeah.
You know, because apparently one of his political opponents, some county board executive person, released this audio. And Mayor Jim Fouts has gone on record as saying things like, well, that's not... He has said that it is not him. But he's also said, well, I don't know if that's me. I haven't heard the tape. Which is generally not a terribly good... Like, the things that he's saying on this tape... You would think that a person would be able to say, "No, that's certainly not me."
Absolutely, 100% no.
I wouldn't say those things, but he more focused on. Well, I haven't heard the tape. So
what was the first? Did you hear the first one? I've heard that one too. There's one not in this little packet.
The disabled
one.
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
Oh yeah, we do.
That's a barn burner.
Yeah, we do. So would you like to hear some of these clips?
I'd love to.
This is the mayor of Warren, Michigan, Jim Fouts. Well, I don't know. This is
alleged to be.
It's alleged to be.
Probably improperly. It's probably not him.
You know, I don't think so.
A mayor would never say this stuff.
No. And I think this is like when somebody gets their Twitter hacked.
That's right.
You know, when lots of inappropriate, possibly drunken tweets go out. Sure. And as it turns out, it was just a hacker.
Someone did it and made it look like they did it.
Right.
Because that's how we operate in this day and age. We just set each other up, and it happens all the time.
It's amazing, though, when people's Twitters get hacked, that it sounds like they're drunkenly tweeting it, and then the hacker just leaves them alone after that.
Yeah, and the timing is perfect, too. It just happens to be when they were drinking.
Right. It's late on a weekend night.
Yeah.
Very strange when that happens.
Have a photo of their dick. Yeah. Those hackers are good.
Those hacks. So this is these are tapes that came out in December. I don't know how he managed to not make this a bigger news story in December, but I guess he was able to just say, "No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me."
Yeah,
like the Shaggy song. It wasn't me. They really did. They caught him on camera.
Oh.
Here's this clip. He's talking about going to a thing where he's going to meet with disabled people, and be a mayor and kiss babies and do the whole thing.
Yeah. Passion for retarded kids. I just find...
Okay, already at the beginning of the clip, he called them retarded kids.
Well, he's an older gentleman.
You're right.
He's not a PC guy. He's just talking. He's an older gentleman.
You're right.
Nothing wrong with that. He's not trying to be rude.
Yeah, it's just that's just a language thing.
Yes.
That's not him.
I'm not trying to be rude.
Okay, good.
Passion for retarded kids. I just find, I guess... But you see these people like... I don't know. What good are they? They're dysfunctional human.
Okay. That's is that still like just an old man using?
I would say he has a bit of explaining to do on that one.
He said, and I quote, "You see these people, and what good are they?" Oh, Mayor Fouts.
That's the end of the tape, right?
No. Actually, that was only 10 seconds into a 40-second clip.
Oh, no.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So the other 30 is probably fixing what he just said.
I think so. I think so. And again, this might not be him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Right.
Passion for retarded kids. I just find, I guess... But you see these people like... I don't know. What good are they? They're dysfunctional human beings. They're not even human beings. Can you imagine you stand up the urinal and you drop your drawers to pee? I don't know what they do when they take a shit. They probably sit down and hutch. I don't want any part of this. This is one of the worst things about being mayor. This is the bottom of the barrel. I relate to retarded people, and I don't want to be around them. I wish them well in a cage.
Now, you might have said, "Oh, he wishes them well," but the right after he said, "I wish them well," he said the words "in their cage." I believe is what it sounded like to me. Oof. I mean, I think he was referring to the there is a stereotype that some people that are a little bit mentally challenged do tend to pull their pants down to their ankles when they urinate at the urinal.
I've seen adults do that. I was in the gym recently, and I saw an 80-year-old man do that.
Actually, you used to do that on 57th Street.
Well, just to make my friends laugh and get turned on. This guy was doing it with no hint of irony.
He just did it?
Yeah, just two fleshy lima bean ass cheeks. I was like, well, you can't take pictures in the gym, but I wanted to photograph it because I'm like, how old are you when you start to act like a child?
Yeah.
He's like a 7-year-old.
But he also could be one of those weirdos that just loves being naked in a locker room.
Maybe that's it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he had spent way too long naked, so he had to put his clothes on. Then he went to the urinal and realized I could get a little more naked for a bit.
Yeah.
He just likes to have his dick out in a locker room.
He does.
Unlike the people being spoken about by somebody who some claim is this Mayor Jim Fouts, who then went on to theorize about what they do when they shit.
Yeah, in the cage line, unless he meant a gilded cage.
Right, I don't think he did.
No.
I don't think he did. I'm glad you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he's a good mayor, good man.
Yeah. Warren, Michigan's good city.
Good city.
Good city. How do you survive?
Well, Jim Fouts, so they hacked him. And they just took all this audio and they pieced it together.
Right. They found some guy. It doesn't even sound that much like him. It doesn't even sound like him. He continued on about the disabled people, though.
Oh, I thought that was the end of it.
That wasn't the end of it. No, there's actually more clips of him talking about disabled people.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. You want to hear it?
Yeah, probably fixing what he said. This is where the old Jim Fouts comes in.
What do you think he fixes first? When he was trying to theorize how they shit or that they live in cages?
Or probably that he said that they're not even human beings.
Oh, right.
I mean, it might have been the part where he said they're not human beings.
Or could it be when he posed the question just to the room, what are they good for?
Yeah. That's probably, he's probably fixing all these things and amending them, and this is what I meant to say.
Okay, this is how he fixes it.
Poor man, taking him out of context.
Yeah.
But I think they have to keep them in diapers. I don't know, maybe. I think really, I don't dare say that publicly, but why bring, I see these old people pushing their retarded daughter around and that. For what reason? I don't know. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Who says this stuff? She doesn't know what she's doing. So he really is. I think where we thought he might be correcting his foibles earlier, he's actually doubling down on his theory that they should be locked up in cages.
He's making them worse.
Yeah, he's
making it worse.
This is not a nice thing to say at all.
No, especially when you have to go and see mentally challenged or retarded people. I don't mind him saying the word retarded if he's just saying it, but it seemed like he got a little off the rails after that.
Yeah, that was really only... The reason I don't mind him saying it is because everything he said after it was so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
This is really bad.
Imagine if this was actually him saying it, as opposed to just a setup by his opponents.
Right.
Thank God this isn't him.
I don't think he's advocating for them to be locked up in a basement somewhere.
No, and they're in diapers, and what good are they?
Whoever is on this tape is literally saying that they have no societal value whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, there's another clip, actually, of him talking about disabled people.
Oh, no. There's more?
There is. There's a little bit more.
I still back him. I still know this is not the Jim Fouts I know.
Okay, just listen and see if this sounds like Jim Fouts.
Why would anybody want to have that as part of their... I'm for Dr. Kevorkian,
His family, I think, was the word that got a little... So he's saying that if a kid were born to a family under those conditions... Nobody would want to...
Why would you want that in your family?
You know what Dr. Kevorkian did?
He's the death doctor.
He killed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Except, I don't know if Dr. Kevorkian, it was assisted suicide. It was very, very sick people.
Yeah.
Who they wanted. I don't think...
To put out of their misery.
I've only seen the HBO movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that Dr. Kevorkian killed people's mentally challenged children for them because they didn't want to deal with them.
Yeah, no. He wasn't considered a murderer. He was helping people who were very ill.
Right.
Go out quietly and peacefully.
Not killing
retarded people because they're unpleasant.
Right, or because what good are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Kevorkian, I just had a child, Down syndrome. What good is he? Could you come maybe kill him for me?
Could you come kill him? I'm sick of pushing him around.
Yeah.
That wasn't what he did for a living.
Right. I got to push this kid around. He doesn't know where he's at. He's wearing diapers.
Yeah.
You should see the way he shits. It's ridiculous.
He rattles his cage at night.
Yeah, it's insane. Doctor, you got to come over. You got to put this kid out of my misery.
Yeah, put him down.
Misery. Yeah, put him.
We don't want him in the family.
Yeah. Do you want to hear? Because this is, again, though what we just heard just now is a prelude to the story that's out.
There's a newer forgery out.
More forgeries.
More forgery, and but
it's a little tough.
Yeah,
it's a little tough. You reading the headlines across the Detroit Free Press?
Yeah, those are not. Those are going to be kind of hard to skate through this one.
I would love to hear if anybody.
He's the mayor.
Yeah. Should send a nice shout out to our listeners in Warren, Michigan today.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hope you guys are having a great morning. Do we have a little bit of audio of the mayor just speaking? Because a lot of people can make a lot of accusations, but the fact is that Jim and myself and the people who don't live in Warren probably don't know anything about this guy, so we don't know if this is a forgery or not. So let me play a.
Wait, what's the headline on this one?
Okay, here's the problem. We're just trying to find audio. This is the gem of a mayor. This is from 2 years ago. Yeah. The gem of a mayor that Warren, Michigan has. Mayor Jim Fouts. We're just trying to find a news story, right? Just to get his voice on it. That's literally, we're not proving a point with this at all.
No, we just want to hear his voice.
And the only news story we could find is Warren Mayor Jim Fouts says he is not dating his executive assistant.
That's 2014.
He really enjoys being the mayor, I think.
He really is enjoying the perks.
All right. While you look for his voice on that.
I noticed.
Okay. All right. You're gonna pull it up for us?
That's the same hat I have.
Yeah, and he looks like just as much of a jerk.
No, he looks cool, the reporter. He's out there getting the skinny.
Here's his voice again.
Why would anybody want to have that as part of their... I'm for Dr. Kevorkian,
Okay. All right. So that's kind of what he sounds like, what this person on this tape sounds like.
Right.
Let's hear, this is from 2014, Jim Fouts' voice.
Subordinate. Was that business or pleasure?
That was a trip that I took for a number of different reasons.
Are you dating your executive assistant, as this video would suggest?
No, that I am not, and that's irrelevant.
This is a YouTube video posted yesterday.
I don't know.
The video of him and the assistant.
Showing Mayor Fouts walking arm in arm and then holding hands with his executive assistant, Amanda Micah. This was in Chicago in November of 2012.
Oh, no.
And the mayor says posted now as just the latest political attack.
I think that may have been taken out of context, or however the video was done.
How? You're walking down the street holding hands?
I don't know. Why don't you ask the people who took the video?
I'm asking the people who are in the video.
Well, I can't answer for what a video took place a year ago or more. All I know is... Was that me? I haven't looked at the video, so I...
Do you want me to play it for you?
I don't want to play it.
The best.
He doesn't know for sure. All right, now that
the best.
Now that we've heard that voice, tell me if it sounds like this voice.
But I think they have to keep them in diapers.
It's a good forgery.
I think, really, I don't dare say that publicly, but...
This may be one of the great impressionists.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet the guy who does a spot-on Mayor Jim Fouts.
Jim Fouts is a hard one. Comics have been trying to nail him for a long time.
Do you do a Jim Fouts?
Yeah, I've tried. I mean, I've said a lot of the similar things. Yeah, my coworkers.
You more encapsulate the vibe of Jim Fouts, not necessarily the voice.
I am his soul.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny. We stumble onto that other story. It's literally...
Do you think he was dating her?
It doesn't look good. That was not the most convincing rebuttal. I can't speak for people in a video a year ago. I haven't watched it.
I love the news reporter. He's like, well, it's out of context. The news reporter goes, how's it out of context? He goes, I don't know. Why don't you ask the guy who made the video? He's like, I'm asking the guy who was in the video.
Oh, my God. Is he a classy, this guy?
He really is. You're just walking around holding hands with the girl that they're talking about and being like, no, I don't date her. No.
His assistant was very cute. Let's see a picture of her. Whatever happened with that story? It's 2 years ago. Before we go back to this, I'm obsessed with James Fouts.
Maybe old Jimmy Fouts, his strategy is just to do something.
More video? Oh, come on. There's more video that's been doctored?
Wait. Okay, wait. Scroll up.
Oh, it's him talking. No.
More video of Mayor Jim Fouts and his assistant getting friendly. Okay.
Is he married or no?
They went to a hotel together? That's cool. But she might just be assisting him with the check-in.
He said they stayed in different hotel rooms.
See? Okay. But they meant for dinner and drinks at a fancy restaurant.
Oh, no, is this the bill?
No, the investigator saw them enter the same room multiple times.
Well, what
Number 650. Oh,
was
no.
it a hotel room?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Probably taking down some dictation and notes for the following day's meeting.
Do you think that that's what it could have been? That maybe it was just a... Okay, this says he got her a gift. They found him getting her a gift at the Apple store. And there they are, arm in arm, and holding hands.
That's out of context.
That's totally out of context.
They're holding hands. That's out of context.
Is that even him in the video?
I don't know.
I can't tell.
She gets a raise at the same time Mayor cuts employee stuff.
Oh.
Was the relationship an open secret? They've been seen together at functions, restaurants, theater events for a few years. Wow, she's beautiful.
She is.
Holy shit, Mayor.
She is. She
Mayor,
probably just gets a kick out of some of his comments. She thinks he's a funny guy.
Several weeks before the Chicago trip, there was another secretary. Wow.
Secret getaway on her.
Who left work early to give his young assistant a ride home. Oh,
that's
boy.
nice.
Wow, she's cute.
But that's not. You give your assistant a ride home because it's like, part of your family.
Amanda, let's look her up. Whatever happened to her? Let's see if that scandal ever came to fruition or if it just went away.
Well, I mean, I would think that eventually they got to the bottom of this and realized that everything was taken out of context. Fouts caught on camera with I love the headline. Fouts caught on camera with young, well-paid secretary. Oh
boy.
Fouts. How do we know? Like, this is the problem, okay? And this is what feminists should be up in arms about. How do we know she wasn't just a spectacular secretary?
That's right.
What if she just proved her worth?
She's cute. What if she just did a great job?
She did a fantastic job as an assistant and a secretary. And like you said, Jim, she would go with him when he traveled because she's got to go to his hotel room and give him a briefing for the next day. The mayor of Warren, Michigan, has a lot going on.
By the way, he issued a lengthy press release that denies the $5,000 raise given to his secretary was unethical. He dodged the basic assertion that he was dating a subordinate, and he emphasized that his secretary and apparent girlfriend was given an 11% hike based on her numerous duties. The mayor argued that the trip to Chicago could not have influenced the decision to give her a raise 13 months later. Okay.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That makes no sense. She's got more duties. You're going to give a 10% raise.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we should...
Not a thing. And now that we're done with the disabled clips, we are done with the controversial audio, correct?
No, there's more
Is there
doctored
more?
audio.
Wait a minute. Is the Jim Fouts impressionist at it again?
Yeah, and they released one, a very, very questionable one, on Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh, no.
I was surprised they chose this day because it was only going to appear more inflammatory.
Now, did he attack special needs people in this one?
No.
Oh,
no,
boy.
he didn't.
Oh, boy.
No. It's not what you think, though. What do you think?
I think it could be a racial attack.
Oh, then maybe what you think.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me go to Sean, who's calling from Warren, Michigan right now.
Oh, hello, Sean.
Sean.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, just peachy. You guys have perfect timing.
Are you guys in Warren, Michigan? Are you guys outraged at the attack that's going on and the mayor impressionist that's out there?
No, I think it represents the city pretty well.
Okay.
I think it kind of sums up everything. Yeah, this all started over a fucking landfill, and the mayor attacked some guy over the use of like a landfill being used for a park. And he said the guy was kind of an asshole. And then this guy released the footage about the kids that are retarded. They should be kept in cages.
Right.
How did he have that?
Yeah, do we know where he got it?
I don't know. He keeps saying that's not him and it's some impressionist and that's not his voice.
Yes,
right.
he's been making that.
That's right.
A claim. But the clip Jim just alluded to is it's fantastic. They just released it yesterday, and it's
Sean, do you think that these clips sound like your mayor?
Yeah, or is it just
You know
a good
what?
impression?
No, so he goes on on the Warren TV. We have local public access, and he's on there 24/7. It's 150%
Public access.
him.
That's okay.
He loves getting in front of a microphone.
So there's a lot of time where he's probably not aware of the mic. Look at Trump got it. You see, forget the mics are there,
and he's probably in a room with a bunch of camera operators or whatever, trying to make him laugh, trying to say shit
my
that's
God.
this is great.
No, the second I've heard it so much. He's he's on the radio constantly. He's on the TV. That's his voice. Yeah. But this new clip they just released, you should love it. I think it'll be great. And he looks like such a fucking creep too.
He does.
He's just.
Do you think he was dating his assistant?
Yeah, I mean he's a hot body, I guess. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean is she still his assistant?
I don't know that much because they've kept everything very kind of
She's cute.
Under wraps.
He's a handsome guy, though, I could see.
What?
Yeah.
He's not a handsome guy. He looks like what's probably going to happen to me.
I
mean, a fucking oblong head?
Yeah, like the inside of avocado. He just kind of looks like an old, wrinkly avocado.
But you guys are proud of him?
Oh, yeah. I don't see why not, though. I mean, besides all that other stuff, I mean, this is Trump's America, right? So this is kind of following that trajectory.
He's a good man, this mayor. He's been taken out of context, and I'm tired of his name being besmirched.
Yes, thank you, Sean, for clarifying.
We appreciate that.
There is an impressionist out there. Should we listen to what he said?
Yeah, because I think that this was also taken out of context.
Well, let's see.
I don't know why they released this on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It seems like it was a tawdry release.
This is a clip of Mayor Fouts talking about African American individuals.
Blacks do look like chimpanzees. I was watching this black woman with her daughter, and they look like two chimps. Their mouths were elongated out, duckish look.
Why would you make that observation?
Why? And who are you making it to that's sitting there when you're the mayor going, yeah, it's a good point?
Whose sense of humor is that off? You know what I mean?
He didn't even seem like he was kidding.
You talk about a guy who can't read a room. Wait till you guys hear this observation I made.
But he wasn't even joking. He was just having a chat.
He just thought of something.
Yeah.
He was probably out there, and he saw this. This impressionist was probably out there, and he made this observation to himself, and then he decided, I can share this because if it's actually true, then it's probably not racist. If I believe that this is just a physical observation I've made, I don't think it would be considered racist.
I wonder if this is just someone going back through all the audio, finding things he has said, or that have allegedly made impressions by other people.
Well, there are others that have come forward and said that they know instances in which he's used language that's inappropriate.
Well, a former advisor says he heard Fouts use the N-word and saw him dance like a monkey.
Okay,
that's not mayoral.
No, it's not even sort of appropriate.
Not very mayoral behavior.
It says here a former political advisor to Jim Fouts.
Eric Nagel.
Yes. He really does look like him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Chubby boy with a Florida haircut.
Yeah. Leaning into the camera.
Oh, yeah. Thinking he has bedroom eyes when nobody notices them.
Sultry.
He says that he has sat in meetings in which Fouts has used the N-word and once saw him dance around like he was a monkey while referencing black Detroiters.
What meeting? How comfortable are you in a meeting?
He really he's one of these guys that thinks he's an untouchable mayor.
Is he
I'm the mayor. I'm untouchable. I run this city.
I wonder if he drinks or or if he's just too comfortable around people. How do you think that you're not going to get in trouble for that?
I don't know.
He's a mayor.
He's
the fucking mayor.
This is his quote. In many meetings, I've heard him casually use the N-word. At one of the last meetings I ever had with him, he actually stood at the front of the conference room table and danced around like he was a monkey, and that was in reference to voters in Detroit. That was not a great not a great way to describe your constituents, as it were.
Yeah. I want to try to get this guy. We should talk to one of these folks.
Well,
clear this mess up.
Yeah, I'd like to try to get the mayor on the phone to give him his opportunity to tell the world that he had nothing to do with all this stuff. I want to find out who the Warren, Michigan impressionist is.
Yeah, who's the culprit of these fake audios? Because for a mayor to say this stuff, it's probably the end of his political career.
You would have to, and that's why we're against the impressionist.
That's right.
Want to hear something else? Some other stuff
Is
the
there more? I
impressionist
thought
said?
that was it.
No, it's quite a bit more.
Oh.
But here's the only thing, and I don't know if you'll be interested in it. This stuff focuses more on the racial stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, it was the Martin Luther King's birthday. You think the person didn't realize that when they released this stuff, that it would be inflammatory?
I think they were aware of the calendar when they released it. Yes, I do think they were aware of the calendar.
I remember this one kid in my class, I told you some years ago, he said, we have a party store. He says, my dad have rules. What are they? Only 2 nigger at a time.
Okay, so he's dropping out. That's just, I guess, audio of him dropping N-bombs.
Now, the audio gets cut there right immediately. So what they're probably cutting out is him saying, and I didn't approve of that type of language.
Right.
See?
Or the fact that we don't hear the beginning of the conversation. He's probably like, here's an example of a sentence I would find unacceptable. And then we hear this evidence.
And how he didn't like that kid. And they're probably cutting out the good part where he's,
Right.
Okay.
Like, listen to the first clip again, in context.
Blacks do look like chimpanzees. I was watching this black woman with her daughter, and they look like 2 chimps. Their mouths were elongated out, duckish look.
Okay. How do we...
He's probably just a fan of comparisons. He doesn't make the best comparisons.
Right. Oh, this is one of the...
He doesn't make the most sensitive comparisons. He's probably just a fan of comparison. Like, if you come back in 10 minutes, he's probably saying, my friend Ernie looks like an egg.
Right.
He just compares things.
Right, because that's probably...
He's not racist. He's comparing things.
That's probably special skills under in his resume.
Yeah, make great comparisons.
Right.
Compares the economy to other things, and, he just compares his constituents to animals.
It might be the least sensitive comparison.
I would say that's probably the least sensitive.
Probably the least, yeah. Especially as he described the facial features.
So you want to know, who's he saying this to? Because you could hear a guy kind of laughing. So is the guy laughing the guy who made the tape, like, oh, I got you? Or is it just the guy who's taping both of them?
The guy who made the tape is an enemy of his, so he's not going to say it in front of... I mean, the guy who released the tape.
But he probably didn't know it was an enemy. The guy, the engineer may have been like, this piece of shit. And not know.
Right. I think that... look, if that mayor is making those statements in front of me, I'm laughing along and getting him to say as much as he can and recording all of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think anybody would do that.
Hell, that's why he'd be making it about you.
That's not fair.
It is fair.
He
Awful
wasn't...
face.
He did move past African-American voters.
All right, good.
But he started talking about... He's not a fan, which really doesn't go... Oh, you know what? I just realized some of the evidence mounted together is a little bit damning.
Is it?
His assistant...
Yep.
Age-wise, would you say she's the same age as him?
It's funny. I was looking at them, and I'm like, they appear to be different ages.
Yeah, if you could look at a photo of his assistant, would you say older or younger?
I think the assistant's probably a couple years younger than him. He's got to be, I'm going to say he's about 57, and she's probably 27.
Yeah, probably.
That's my guess.
Probably. So, in this clip, which is totally out of character for Mayor Fouts, that's why I think it's an impressionist.
Yeah.
He's talking about how much he doesn't like old women.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense. Okay, let's hear this.
Right. This could be sabotage.
Think I want to date a fucking 60-year-old hag? Fuck that shit. I'm not interested in any old ugly hag. I think after a certain age, they're all dried up, washed up, burned out.
Okay. That's
all right. Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
He goes on.
They're pussies when they're young, and when they get old, they're just mean, hateful, dried up old cunts.
That's all right. Well, he does raise a valid point.
Yeah. That's a little unfair. It would seem that the impressionist took this other false story from years before and decided to base his impression on other falsities about this mayor, I would imagine. And this guy. Oh. Who is is that true?
Yes.
Oh.
We have Joe Disano on the phone. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, sir?
Joe DeSano, and let me just say, guys, I'm a fan.
Oh,
thank
yes.
you, Joe.
Times seen him live. Saw him on the Virus tour in 05 or 06.
That's amazing.
Well,
so,
thank you.
So, what you guys, Jim, what you don't know about Joe is you're a fan of Joe's too. He is the advisor who saw our mayor dancing around like a monkey at one point.
That was we tweeted an article that you were quoted in that you had seen him dancing around like a monkey and using the N-word. Is that true?
Oh, it's absolutely true. And I wasn't, I was an advisor of his from 03 to about 13.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the final straw was, the guy's got a lot of problems. Let's be frank.
Mm-hmm.
But the final straw was him dancing around like a monkey. And I'm not going to lie, there were financial problems too. He had made promises that he didn't follow through on, and I don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So, at some point, if you don't pay, I don't work. And then when you just dive into the racial well like this, enough is enough.
So, did you think he was also dating his assistant?
Oh, he absolutely was. Yeah, there's no.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, we were giving him the benefit of a doubt, figuring these tapes were out of context, and there was an impressionist with the vocals. So that's probably not true.
No, Rich Little was not on the case here. Maybe Voss.
So wait, he gave his assistant a raise while you were you looking to get your money, and she got a raise?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was never a city employee. I was a private consultant.
Okay.
But now here's an interesting story. One of the situations that led to me just saying enough is enough was he was taped in Chicago by a private investigator walking along Michigan Avenue, kissing the assistant and holding her hand as they walk.
Uh-huh.
And I got wind of the tape because basically political people are scumbags. I got wind that the tape existed, and I thought I had a duty to at least alert him to the possibility that this tape existed. So I went to his office, and I said, Mayor, you got a problem. There's rumors out there of a tape of you and Amanda, your girlfriend, walking along Michigan Avenue, making out. And he denied it. And since I had not seen, the tape at any point,
why would he deny
I just let it lie because, it was a rumor. And I gave him my best advice as a consultant, saying, look, there's a good chance this exists. You've got to have some type of response. And he just denied it, which is fine. You know what? That's your business. But where the story gets weird is when the local ABC affiliate a couple months down the road actually gets the tape.
Mm-hmm.
He accuses me of being part of the conspiracy.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, this is how nuts this guy is. And it's gotten progressively worse over the years.
How long has he been mayor for?
He's been mayor since 2009, and I began working with him when he was on the city council in 03. He was on the council for 30 years.
Okay.
But I first started working with him in the 02-03 period.
So what context would he use the N-word in when you were in meetings?
Oh, it's quite casual with him.
Right.
It's kind of like hanging around Anthony, I would assume.
Is he fun like Anthony, though? Anthony's a fun guy.
No. Mr. Anthony has the ability to be funny. This man has no sense of humor.
So he's not kidding.
Anyway.
He's not. This guy doesn't just have a rude sense of humor. He means it.
Yeah. Oh, these tapes are a pure look into a man's dark heart. Okay.
Wow. Whatever happened with the assistant?
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of ethical problems. I mean, basically, she runs the city, in my opinion, because she could, sue him at any point for harassment.
Correct.
There's a huge problem here that has been underreported, in my mind.
What do you think?
It's an ethical minefield.
What do you think? Who do you think recorded him? Because the audio is so clear, it has to be in a room. There's almost no background. Yeah. It sounds like a studio. How do you think he got recorded from what you know about his schedule?
One, everyone records him. There are more tapes out there.
Oh no!
Damn.
Yeah, everyone records him.
Everyone's just sitting there running tape on him wherever he goes, and he still just runs off at the mouth.
I'm assuming that he records everything. He's very Nixonian.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that when I go into the room, I'm being taped. So I tape as well.
Wow.
But the point being is this: everyone's taping him because no one trusts him.
Okay.
Right, because they figure that he's taping them. They're going to release. He's going to release a tape of them, so they have to tape him, so that way it's not out of context.
Defend yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possibly that somebody got a hold of this guy's own tapes? So Nixon's tapes did him in.
No. What it is the first batch of tapes that were released before Christmas. I know who did the tape.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know who taped it and who released it.
Now, when you say the first batch of tapes, you're referring to the tapes in which he refers to people that are mentally challenged as useless and talks about them living in cages?
Correct. Now, I have to be very fair. I've never heard him say anything like that.
Right.
So that was kind of like a gut punch.
You never heard him say stuff about retarded people. It was more, you heard the racial stuff, but not that.
So you never heard him ponder about how people who are mentally challenged use the bathroom?
No, I probably would have started throwing fists at that point.
Okay.
Now, you know who released the tape? Are you able to say who it was that released it?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. Mostly because he is in a position where his job would be threatened if his name came up.
Okay.
But the racial stuff, when you hear the tapes that came out yesterday, the racial stuff, that sounds like exactly like the type of stuff you would hear in any given day.
I would go so far as to even say I think it may have been a tape. It may have been a tape of a meeting I was in.
Wow.
It's quite possible. Because he was very casual, particularly with the story about the two N-words in the party store.
Right, when he was a kid.
That anecdote, I heard him tell that anecdote a number of times.
So is he...
and he's getting up in age, so he doesn't remember when he says things.
How old a guy is he? I guessed 57.
74.
Oh, 74.
74.
And how old was his...
She's probably about 30 now, but here's the interesting thing. So he has another scandal several years ago where he lied about his age.
What?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he shaved like 5 or 6 years off his age, so that quote unquote, and this is like in the newspaper if you dig deep enough, if you do a deep enough Google search on him, so he can date younger women.
So is he a single guy?
Yeah, never married.
So how does a guy like this, who appears to be somewhat of a monster, get elected mayor? Like, it doesn't sound like all these scandals just sort of popped up or all these behaviors just started happening since 2009. It sounds like a lot of this has been going on since he was on city council.
Who did he run against? Jared Fogle?
Not too far from the truth. Actually, he got like 85% in the last election.
Oh my God!
Because what you have to keep in mind is when he was on the city council, he never bore any scrutiny. He was just one of several members. Okay, and since he's a single guy with no family, he's able to handle every incoming problem and deal with it in a very personal way. Okay, which is good politics. I mean, essentially all politics is about building a relationship with voters, or in most cases, a fake relationship with voters.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that because, like, literally, he would sit home at night and take every phone call and every request from someone for help.
You think he drinks?
From that perspective, he was a good a good public servant.
Do you think he drinks? We guessed about it, Joe.
I believe him to be a complete non-drinker.
Okay.
Wow.
So he's saying this stuff just clear-headed.
What do you do when you're sitting there? You're like, my job is to advise this guy. I'm a political advisor, and you're watching the mayor that you have to advise in front of a boardroom dancing around like a chimpanzee to describe his voters. Like, what goes on in your head?
Well, those aren't... see, here's the thing. That's not his voters.
Oh.
Yeah, his city straddles 8 Mile, which you'll remember from the Eminem movie.
Right. Vomit on a sweater already. Mom's spaghetti.
Yeah. So his city is the south border of the city is 8 Mile, and now you're starting to see African American voters cross the border into Warren, but they're at this point in time they're not really great voters.
I see. So they're not.
Yeah, you got a changing city, okay, and you got a mayor who's like literally walking off the set of Mad Men.
Right.
Old school.
Although he's probably even racist for old school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the ability to not know you're saying these things in front of people who are going to say something. Back then, people didn't really talk about stuff, but you can't say shit like this in front of people now.
There could have been
keep it quiet.
There could have been fire hoses on the street, and people would still be like, "Mayor, relax."
Yeah, easy.
Like, Jesus, Mayor.
You can though if you're surrounded by people who make 6-figure salaries completely based on your whim.
Right.
You know, you do develop a cocoon.
Yeah, and then it all just falls away at one point, and all you can do is sit there and be like, "No, it's not me. I don't know. No,
right.
No, not true."
Well, not true. This is being manipulated, and to the level where they're just creating phrases. I mean, the bottom line is, if anyone has the ability to manipulate these tapes like this, they're working for the NSA. They don't give two shits who's the mayor of Warren, Michigan.
Of course.
And this sounds like the mayor to you.
Oh, no question. I mean, these tapes are extremely clear.
Yeah, they're pretty good quality.
Yeah, they're pretty clear. I mean, we're being introduced to this guy for the first time today, and kind of comparing and contrasting his voice a little and hear the similarities. So it's good to hear an expert, in your opinion, say that you believe this is definitely the same dude on the tape.
Well, and let's look at it from a legal perspective. Okay, if Sam Roberts is being accused publicly of saying these things, don't you have a lawyer hired immediately to start suing the fuck out everyone?
Sure.
Yeah. I probably would seek legal action.
Sure.
Correct. So why isn't that happening here?
Because it's a grand conspiracy.
Yeah, and a great legal defense is if something is true, you can't be, you're not going to win a lawsuit if someone's actually putting out something that's actually,
generally speaking, you're right.
And the biggest secret in Macomb County politics is if you want to pay off, sue the city in a situation where the mayor has to be deposed, and the city will settle the lawsuit.
Because they're not going to put the mayor in that position where he has to tell the truth about things.
Right.
The mayor is terrified of depositions. That's why I'm very freely talking about this now, because he had the audacity to claim a conspiracy and compare himself to Martin Luther King Jr. on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Man, oh
and
man.
So finally, what's he going to do? He can sue me. The truth is fine. I'll depose everyone.
Right, you'd be happy to discuss it, in a legal surrounding. All right.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate your candor, and we're
going to keep an eye on this thing.
We appreciate you coming on, dude. Thank you so much.
Can you give me an Uncle Paul?
Yeah, you're a good boy for coming on. I want to muss up your hair. You look like Eric Nagel. I'm going to kiss your neck, Joe.
Oh, that's sweet, Jimmy. You're such a good boy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys.
All right, take care.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he was the advisor to this guy for about 10 years. And what was the last name? I don't have the name. Joe
DeSano.
DeSano, yeah. Thank you, Joe DeSano, for coming on.
And he's the guy who, a year ago, whatever it was, came out and said that the reason he left, or one of the reasons that he left, is because he saw him using the N-word and dancing around like a monkey. It's just crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's amazing this guy survived the first. I mean, the girlfriend, if he's single, I can almost see him surviving because people know it. They're like, who gives a shit?
Right.
But the retarded tapes, he survived that. When did that come out?
Christmas. Right before Christmas.
That just happened. All right.
So that's almost like floating there, and he's kind of skirting by it. And so as he's skirting by it, they push out these Martin Luther King Jr. Day tapes.
And by the way, there were some, I did see footage of him on the news. There was a guy, black guy, calling him, "You're a disgrace, you're a rate," like they were following him with news cameras. And he wasn't addressing it particularly well.
Well, how was he addressing it?
He just seemed like he responds to new audio records. It's like he just walks away.
No.
Yeah, I would say I was not impressed. Right here he is. He's walking through a crowd.
Mayor Fouts, what is your
That is an engineered tape inspired by Mark Hackle, just like the last one. It is not me.
You're still denying
It is not me at all. No, I came here to.
It's very clear audio, Mayor
I came here to include diversity.
Okay. Did you hear the comments that were made? If it's not you, why don't you take a test?
You devil. You devil.
Say that.
Call my people chimpanzees, you devil.
He's making a good point. I could see where the guy would be upset, but yeah, sure. The reporter going, the tapes are very clear.
She said that. Yeah. And he says, I was just here to promote diversity.
Yeah. Somebody, by the way, photoshopped, they combined Mayor Jim Fouts' face and Anthony's face. Very good facsimile.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Let's go to Jared in New York. What's up, Jared?
Hey, guys. So I'm going to blow the lid off this because I know who's responsible for the tapes.
Who's that?
It's the 92.3 fugitive from years back. He totally got these tapes, and he's trying to blackmail the mayor for money.
Oh, sir, you know what?
You're a creep.
What a crumb bum this guy is.
Yeah.
You're a real crumb bum.
Although, I would have loved it if we were listening to the Mayor Fouts tapes, and halfway through, he accidentally drops the impression and Bobo's voice picks up. Oh, I mean,
But a racist, okay?
Matt in Texas.
Hey, guys.
Hello?
Do you remember the viral video from about maybe 5 years ago? The guy from Warren, Michigan, who goes off on the female reporter because he dumped a bunch of logs in the road. Do you remember that video at all?
No.
He calls the woman. He's like, I don't take orders from women. And
yeah.
Can we find that?
Yes. You should probably look up reporter instead of log.
Yeah, Warren, Michigan log.
There it is. Yep. See, that's the third video. No, it's the third video down. Yes.
He won't take orders from women.
He looked up.
Oh, but that's not the mayor.
No, it's just a guy in Warren, Michigan, who's saying that I'm not going to move this because I don't take orders from women.
All right, well, maybe the man raises a valid point.
F. Brown during 7 Action News at 5.
They're going over it. Let's just find the guy. There he is. There's the
a little
joke.
illegal to leave the wood in the street. So what I'm asking is...
I mean, you don't have to ask me, and I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way. By the way, I don't take no orders from no women.
Together, since he was...
What we voted for.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if he was as outraged when he heard this one.
They're pussies when they're young, and when they get old, they're just mean, hateful, dried-up old cunts.
So he's right. The mayor's right. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. It was a laugh. What is it?
It's so weird.
That's Jerry Lewis laugh.
Oh, when he's leaving?
Yeah.
Oh. Why does it sound like that?
That's what it sounds.
Oh, it sounds underwater. It's not good.
Yeah, it does sound like it's underwater.